Hi guys, welcome to the show. My name is Alex. I'm from Need for Tips. Natalie, our favorite host from SVR, is missing today, but I will preview together with Joao day six of the U.S. Open, most best value bets heading into day six. What a competition we had so far! Really interesting from all the points of view. Big surprises. Some players are playing at their best level. I think, Joe, that we are watching an exchange of generation, if I can say that.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. That we are experiencing and noticing that the new players, not only the youngsters with 18, 20, but also the ones with 24, 25, are starting to raise their level, and other players who have been in the game and dominating for the past couple of years have been struggling. Today's defeat of Marin Cilic against Diego Schwartzman was another good example of that. A player who has been improving year after year. Schwartzman defeated the 2014
Yeah.
US Open champion. Has been a very strange moment in tennis this season. I think that from 2018 forward, as I said yesterday, we'll have new players dominating the tour.
Yeah, exactly. In 1 2 year, I am expecting also new players. Also, we are seeing that Federer is struggling with Yuzny and struggling also in the first round. And tomorrow he will play against Feliciano Lopez, a really good player also. But also he is not so young. He's older than the rest, as we are seeing right now. Luka Puig, Shapovalov, that just won against Kyle Edmund. Kyle Edmund just retired and a lot of others. Nadal is struggling also to find his perfect shape. Lost two in the first 2 rounds. I think it's a really big problem, at least on the men's side. On the women's side, I think it's pretty even the stuff. Muguruza, I think that she will dominate again the U.S. Open, and I don't think that she will have a lot of rivals in this year's U.S. Open.
Yeah, tomorrow, but tomorrow, not tomorrow, in the following round, for 2 days from now, she'll have a very tough opponent, Petra Kvitova. Although she's always very inconsistent, and the U.S. Open is far from her favorite Grand Slam tournament. Today against Caroline Garcia, I believe that Garcia could create some problems. But Petra is just in one of those days where she was just firing winners from everywhere, and in a good day, she can create problems to anyone, and it won't be an easy match for Kvitova.
I think that
For Kvitova, sorry, for
Garcia.
Muguruza.
Yeah, I think that Caroline Garcia was not at her best level of play. I think that she did a lot of mistakes. As we talked, that she can have ups and downs, and I think that she has really big problems because her father is coaching her, and she cannot exit from the word of her father. So whatever her father will say, she will follow that. So I think that that's another problem for Garcia. But I think that she was fighting with her inner circle. I think that she lost it. She lost the first set 6-0. Incredible. I didn't thought that something like that is happening. I think that mentally she wasn't prepared for this match at all.
Yeah, the fact that the players are trained by their fathers is something common on the French players. Marion Bartoli was also coached by her father. He stopped being a doctor to coach her full time, so it's something common in France. But yeah, but as I said, although Garcia wasn't at her best, it's more about Kvitova's performance, and when she's playing well, she can beat anyone, and she's going to be a very tough opponent, and probably the biggest obstacle that Muguruza can face until the final and possibly winning the title.
Yeah, we have a nice comment from Robinson Yepes, our usual friend that is watching us every day. He says, I take my comments back made on Sang Shuai. Sang Shuai. She is impressive and needs to be respected, but I feel that she needs to be tested for PED. What do you say about that?
She's a very good player. I believe that Zhang has quality. I believe it was last year in the Asian Swing or Beijing or something like that that she won against Halep. For a Chinese player, she's very tall, has a great firepower, and in a good day, she's a tough opponent. But most of the times on the WTA, we have that the players can play well. It's all about being consistent and mentally there. But almost anyone can beat anyone in a good day. So it's all about the momentum and their level in the recent weeks.
Absolutely. So let's get back to business. Sixth day tomorrow of the U.S. Open. We have some really interesting matches. On the men's side, we have some really good matches. For example, as we specified earlier, Federer against Feliciano Lopez. We have also Dominic Thiem against Manarino. We have also Bautista Agut against Del Potro. For all three of them, I have some tips, but I want to hear you with your best plays for tomorrow's men's tour.
Tomorrow we have one match that I think can be very interesting between David Goffin and Gael Monfils. Both of them have been struggling with some physical problems, and although Goffin received a medical timeout after the first set against Guido Pella in the previous round, he played at a very good level. Didn't show any major problems. I watched the fifth set, and he was moving very well, running to every shot. And on the other hand, Monfils is also struggling with some knee problems. He managed to win against Donald Young, but he was very inconsistent. A lot of unforced errors and double faults. And when looking at the odds for this match, I believe that there's a huge value on Goffin. He's currently at 2.52 on Pinnacle. It's a very high price. For those who want to take a more cautious approach, you might place a bet on a sports books that guarantees a void if one of these players retire, because Goffin has been struggling with some problems, and also Monfils. So if you want to take that out of the equation, the retirement, you can bet, for example, on William Hill at 2.38 or on Bet365 at 2.37. That's also a good approach. But I believe that this match should be pretty close, and the value is definitely on Goffin. And I believe that he played very well and is not experiencing so many physical problems as the odds tend to show.
Yeah, exactly. I think that we should find a really good bookie. Exactly like you said, if one of the players will retire from the match, we should get our money back, and the bet should be voided. I think that tomorrow I have three bets from the men's side. I don't have any from the women's side. I have Bautista Agut against Del Potro, 1.91 for Bautista Agut to win the match against Del Potro. I think that Del Potro will finally end this U.S. Open. I didn't like his performance at all till now. I don't know. It's just me, but
No,
I
it's
think
not.
he's not playing at his best level. He's really slow. I think that Bautista Agut can do his magic and win against Del Potro. And my second one, and really good one, I think that Feliciano Lopez plus 2.5 on the Asian handicap against Roger Federer. Federer that in the first two rounds he played the five setters also against Yuzny yesterday. So I think that Feliciano Lopez can win at least one set against Federer at 1.83. And Robinson, yes, I will have a play also from the WTA a little bit later.
About those two matches that you mentioned on the Bautista Agut, I agree with you, because Del Potro, I'm not sure what's going on with him, although he had some wrist problems and his backhand is quite poor. But the most problem that he's experiencing, it seems to be lack of physical condition. I'm not sure why, but he doesn't seem to be fit. He's always very slow, as you mentioned, always struggling to be at 100% physically. And against a player like Bautista Agut, who plays a lot of long rallies, very high intensity, and in the best of 5-set matches, I think that at the end the Spaniard will emerge victorious. And personally, I still don't understand what's happening. Del Potro said in a recent interview after the first match that he played in the U.S. Open that he's having a hard time to win matches, to play with the energy that he had in the past. So I think that at the end, Bautista Agut will emerge victorious. On the other match that you mentioned, Federer against Feliciano Lopez, In terms of what Federer has been playing, I agree that he should lose at least one set. He has been far from impressive, and also Feliciano can exploit his backhand since he's a left-handed. But there's one thing that I don't like very much on this matchup is the fact that Lopez has lost all his previous matches against Federer, and in all his interviews when he speaks about Federer, even before this match, he said that he's honored to play against Roger, that it might be the last time that they play on a Grand Slam event. Those kind of comments seem to be, I don't know, I don't feel very confident when the player tends to idolize the opponent like this. Don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. He likes Federer. Well, everybody likes Federer. Also me, I love Federer, and he talks about him like he's the god of tennis. This is what I think also that the career that Federer had, we can consider him the god of tennis. This is why I think that he's talking like that about FedEx. But he will take his chance and at least win at least one set here. This is what I'm thinking. If he plays his best tennis and if Federer will struggle, continue after playing a five setters in 2 rounds in a row, if he will struggle also in the third round, for sure we will see Feliciano Lopez winning at least one set. But to Robinson to be really happy about it, we will have also some picks from the WTA tournament. I will start with you, Joao. What you have prepared for tomorrow on the women's side?
For tomorrow, we have very close contests. One of those involves Yelena Ostapenko against Daria Kasatkina. You mentioned that Ostapenko should cover the handicap against Kirsten in the previous round. She managed
Yep.
to do that. Although I had some concerns about that and only advised the money line, but she did very well in winning that match 6-4, 6-4. When I was looking at the stats in that
Struggled
match
also.
also,
If you saw the match, she struggled also to
yeah,
beat
on the
Kirsten.
serve,
Yeah.
Ostapenko was very poor with 13 double faults. But despite that, from the baseline, I think she played very well, aggressive and able to maintain a consistent level. Although she makes some unforced errors, but from the baseline, I think she ended the match with something like 23 winners and 16 unforced errors if we don't consider
Yeah.
the ace, one ace, and the double faults that she made. Those were good numbers, and she loves to play on the big stages. Um, I had some doubts after winning the French Open that she might not be mentally prepared to play in the next months on the WTA, but she has been doing very well. She did a good campaign in Wimbledon, also on this event. And although Kazatkin is a very talented player, she's a good clay court player, but outside clay, she's not as effective. And I think that Ostapenko's firepower will be too much for her. The price already dropped a little bit since the opening price that we had around 1.85, but we still have 1.76 for Ostapenko to win, and I think that presents some value to get involved.
Yeah, great odds there. I'm looking for another match. Naomi Osaka to play Kaya Kanepi. I know that you talked about in the first rounds about Kaya Kanepi, how she came back on the tournament, and if she's not well prepared for the further round. So okay, we are almost in the third round now, going fourth. So I think that is too much for her right now. Naomi Osaka looks in a really good form. She pulled off the biggest upset of the tournament so far in the women's side by taking out Kerber. I think that she's prepared to go another round, and I think that she can cover the minus 2.5 games on the Asian handicap at 1.75 right now against Kaya Kanepi. I think that bet really represents some value from my point of view.
I have just one more match that I think that presents also some value for tomorrow on the women's. It's the last match of today on the Arthur Ashe Stadium between Elena Vesnina and Madison Keys. Keys had a great season in 2016, but this year hasn't been easy for her. She had a wrist problem, if I'm not mistaken, and required a surgery. She was out of competition for a couple of months. She's trying to return to her best. She won the title in Stanford, but on this tournament, I'm not convinced by her performances so far. In the opening round against Elise Mertens, she was very close from losing the second set against Tatiana Maria in the previous round. she made 36 winners, but also 36 unforced errors. So struggling to play at a consistent level. And she's going to face a very aggressive player who is not afraid to face the big names. Elena Vesnina, she won the title earlier this season in Indian Wells on a good day. As I was mentioning, almost on WTA we have that, but on a good day she can create problems to anyone with her flat ground strokes. Always extremely aggressive. And Pinnacle at this moment has Vesnina to win at 4.01. I think that's extremely high. The spread is also a good approach. The plus 5 games is currently at 1.86 on Pinnacle. That's also an interesting approach. I think that Vesnina can create some problems here, and the sports books are giving too much hype on the home favorite.
Great stuff. So things are looking really good for tomorrow. We said a lot of tips. We gave a lot of tips, Joao and me, also from the men's side, also from the women's side. Thank you, Joao, for joining me. See you tomorrow for previewing day 7 of the U.S. Open and to take out the best value bets for Sunday action. Thank you everyone for taking a part on our show, and see you tomorrow. And Robinson Yepes plus 5 is at minus 1.25. I think it has some value also that. So thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Joe, for joining me. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.